The PlayStation 2 has an impressive library of racing games, some of which are my favourites to this day. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to play any of these with the wheel back in the day. I knew of their existence, but as I was a kid at school, it would have taken ages for me to save up for one. Today, I'm going to test out some PS2 games with the Logitech G920. Some of the games I've wasted many hours on back when they released, and others I'm playing for the very first time. Let's find out if they're worth playing with the wheel, or if I'll stick to the standard DualShock 2. So the first game I tested is a little title called Gran Turismo 4, and I kind of regretted starting out with this one because once I started the first lap of Laguna Seca in an R34 GTR, I didn't want to play anything else. I loved everything about GT4 when it released in 2004. I couldn't imagine it would get any better, but using a wheel takes it to a whole new level where the car control feels so good, it doesn't feel like a nearly 20-year-old game. Testing GT4 with the wheel has made me fall in love with it all over again. Shifting gears to a game I've never played before, in fact I'd never heard of this one until 2 weeks ago. Enthusia is a sim racing game made by Konami that I thought at first would be a cheap knockoff of Gran Turismo, but its handling model holds up really well here after I got used to sliding around corners. I'm very keen to spend more time with this one. I only played a few hours of Hot Pursuit 2 back when it released on the GameCube, and apparently that was the inferior version compared to the PS2. So I'm playing this version for the first time and I'm really impressed with the feel of the car's handling. I was expecting them to have way more oversteer and hard to handle. This one was a nice surprise, and I'd be happy playing with either a wheel or a controller. Were the cops this aggressive on the GameCube version though? They are crazy, doing anything they can to arrest you, even dropping explosives from helicopters to stop you. I'm just in my cruising on my way to buy some banana bread, and then these pricks try to ruin my day. Now onto one of the most popular Need for Speed titles, Underground 2. I was so shocked as I honestly thought this would be a controller-only experience, as I was expecting some very slippery handling, but cars here are so easy to control. This is another game I just didn't want to stop playing. Surely EA, it's time to make an Underground 3 instead of this. Simpsons Hit and Run is an absolute classic and one that I come back to every few years or so. You can play this game with a wheel and the vehicle handling is okay. However, I'm not using that D-pad to control the Simpson family on foot, so I'll stick to a controller for this game. Tokyo Xtreme Racer 3 is the most unique game I tested, and takes a bit of time to get used to the loose handling, but once you do, it's a lot of fun sliding around corners in your tuned RX-7 or other classic Japanese sports car. Or van. This is another game I hadn't heard of before, and I'm so glad I can enjoy it today. Auto Modellista was another game I had on the GameCube, and I'm not sure if it was my wheel settings or if it was a skill issue, but I couldn't get used to the handling on the G920. I was sliding and crashing into AI opponents even at low speed. If someone can recommend some better settings, that would be very helpful, because at this stage I'll be using the DualShock to win races. Formula 1 2006 I chose because it was one of the last F1 games released for the PS2. I'm only a casual fan of the sport, so I don't know the finer details of the 06 season. All I know is my favourite driver is in it, Kimi Räikkönen, and the V8 engines sound a tiny bit better than the piss we have to listen to today. Apart from the sound, this feels like one of the more modern games. The cars are easy to handle and the sense of speed is really amazing here. The game's so good that I could easily play a full season and try to do a bit better than Kimi did in 06.
The field looks like this. Alonso leads. Montoya is second. Fisichella third. Easton down from second. Massa fourth. Button is fifth. He's up from seventh. Michael Schumacher sixth. That's a loss of 5 places.
I loved the vehicle variety in Midnight Club 3, and it was a nice change from what Need for Speed was doing at the time with all the special moves. I didn't like the handling as much as the Underground series, but using a wheel here improves the experience quite a lot. Take a look at this close race I had in a Golf.
Too soon, Junior.
Saving my favourite racing game till last, Burnout 3 Takedown. I never need an excuse to play this absolute classic racer, but I never want to play it with a wheel again. Maybe I could get used to the drifting mechanics over time, but I'm sticking with the controller with this one as it's just too fast and I was crashing into traffic every 30 seconds. This was both a nice experience down memory lane and fun trying a few titles I'd never heard of before. Let me know in the comments your recommendations for games I should try with a wheel. I'll be juggling my time making my next video, playing old games with a modern wheel part 2, and playing through a new career in Gran Turismo 4.